They said Sorrow had learned the path to Amake's house so well it no longer asked for directions. First, her mother coughed out nights until her chest grew quiet like a snuffed lamp. Then her father, strong as an Iroko, staggered home one evening, eyes glassy after a single cup of palm wine, and slept without waking. Two of her sisters drowned together in the same narrow stream that children cross daily with dry hems. The last sister fell from a mango tree she had climbed since childhood, 4 coffins in 1 year. People do not count that kind of grief, they whisper it. Soon, market women in Abiriba began to fold their wrappers when Amayeke approached. Boys who once chased goats with her now spat behind her back and called her Ogbanje, child of a capricious spirit. The night birds sounded louder around her, they said. Shadows followed her steps too closely, they said. Rumor wears 10 legs, truth limps. And Rumor had a helper, her mother's brother Obadike. Obadike wore respect, like a borrowed cloth, neat to the eye, sour to the skin. He used to arrive at dusk with small coins and bigger advice. You are a woman now, he told Amayeke one Harmattan evening, when all that remained in the house was a cracked water pot, a sleeping mat, and grief. His eyes were wet not with tears, but with want. She drew back. He promised to help her get a place in the chief's household, to grind millet for her, to make the village forget the 4 graves. That night, when the moon hid and the wind shook the raffia roof, he forced himself into the room she shared with Memory. She bit her lip and swallowed her shout because she knew no one believed a girl that Sorrow had selected. After, he left a cowrie on her mat as if horror had a price and hissed, "Tell anyone, and they will say your witchcraft failed on me." The next week, the chief's messenger announced that strange charms feathers bound with red thread, a knot of hair and a snail shell had been found under Amake's bed. The items were Obidike's, planted there with a cunning man's boldness. But in Abiriba, evidence is what elders say, it island. The council gathered in the square beneath the silk cotton tree. The Ikro drum spoke once, twice, thrice the count for abominations. Chief Ekru's wrappers glowed white in the Sunday child, he said. Death walks too closely with you. For the safety of Abiriba, you must go. His voice was gentle, like a blade wrapped in leaves. The crowd murmured, hungry for a scapegoat. A goat bleated nearby. Even the sky seemed to hold its breath. Ameke felt the ground tilt. She remembered her mother's hands soft with shea butter, her father's laughter, her sister's giggles. She remembered Obadike's weight, the gagged moon. She raised her cracked chin. I did not call death, she said. Death was called. Her eyes found her uncle's face, calm as a river hiding crocodiles. He did not blink. They pushed her to the edge of the village with a bundle of rags and a dry gourd. Children ran after her, singing, "Witch! Witch!" until their mothers yanked them back. At the boundary marker, the old ogirishi tree, she turned once to Abiriba. The warm cooking fires, the quarrels, the laughter that now belonged to others. Then she stepped into the bush path, heart pounding like the Aikoro. Night fell fast. The bush breathed. Hyenas stitched the dark with laughter. She found a hollow between termite mounds and lay down, all bones and tears. In her fist she still held her mother's blue bead. She whispered into the bead, "If you see me, God, see me now." Something scraped. She sat up. A calabash had rolled to her feet as if pushed by an invisible hand. It was smeared with ash, corked with leaves, and on its side someone had drawn 3 crooked lines and a circle, the exact sign that had been scrawled on her father's door the night before he died. Her name, Amek, was scratched beneath it, not by a child's panic but by a practiced hand. She turned the calabash. It was wet. A single drop fell onto her ankle, thick, dark, and smelling faintly of bitter cola. Wind hissed through the grass like a warning. Somewhere behind her, on the village side of the trees, the Aikoro drum spoke again. She lifted the calabash to her ear and heard what sounded like breathing inside. The leaves parted. Footsteps. A whisper she knew too well. "Finish it tonight. The chief's ears are mine." Obadike's voice. Another man answered. "And the girl?" Obadike laughed. Low. "A bush will swallow whatever you feed it." The calabash shuddered in her hands. And then, From the dark, a cold hand living, human, closed over hers. To be continued.